How long gone? A beautiful rainy Sunday here in Lower Manhattan. I just saw Jared Leto standing out in front of a Tesla at the Bowery Hotel, and he was dressed. He looked like an Uber driver, but in Rick Owens. And it was a very confusing. And he looked like he really wanted to be recognized. Like he was like standing there. It looked like he was waiting for his passenger to come so he could put the luggage in the trunk. It's a very strange look for him.
I mean, my brain is still stuck on Rick Owens, Uber driver. Could you give me a little more backstory? I need back shots on this one.
The Tesla was all black with black rims, black tint. His outfit was drapey and black, much like Rick's signature designs.
Okay.
And his hair is long, the beard. I mean, Jared Leto famously looks amazing because he, drinks the blood of children. But he looked great, but he did look like an Uber driver.
And you know what? Let's give it up for Jared Leto for drinking the blood of children all the time, but he was not on Epstein's log, right? So he kind of did it OG, the old-fashioned way, no shortcuts. And my hat's off to you. I'm sure he's wearing a Willy Wonka-esque top hat right now. So if you could just kind of take that off and put it back on.
No, it would be I would agree that if you avoid the logs, then that means maybe he has his own plane, is what I'm thinking.
Damn, that's like the Jesus, avoid the logs, beloved. Every time Friday? A new flight takes off to where is it? Panama or the Key? Where is it? I forgot.
Yeah, it's in. I don't know actually. I don't remember.
Avoid the logs, beloved. And speaking of Wonka, reports are coming in that the Wonka movie is good. What do you think about that? Is that possible?
Oh, anything's possible. I mean, I'm not going to see it, but I'm sure that many unsuspecting people will. And I think Timmy is probably a good actor. I've just never seen it. I'm sure he wouldn't get all of these huge roles if he wasn't actually good.
Yeah, if he didn't have the chops to back it up. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just because he dresses terribly doesn't mean that he can't act. And that's something that I want to, I bet he can. I bet he's nice with it in front of the camera.
I guess he's sort of like a twink Molly Boz. You see, you cook the recipes and you're like, by golly, it is yummy.
You know what? This is pretty. I mean, Call Me by Your Name. I did see that, but I was so distracted by Army's chiseled jaw that I didn't even remember Timmy was there.
What's available on Delta flights right now if you want to go back for a rewatch. It's one of those films where you can go back for second or thirds.
Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah, Call Me by Your Name. There's I wouldn't call them Easter eggs, but I had moments where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this scene. This scene is more powerful.
Yeah, those aren't Easter eggs, sweetie. Those are anal beads. That's two different things. Don't get those confused. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about the New York Times released 71 most stylish people of 2023.
Oh.
The usual suspects are on there. You know what I mean? Phoebe Philo, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. But there's some surprises and funny stuff that I was impressed with.
Taylor Swift is a surprise.
Yeah, well, that's because she's known to dress bad. But
yeah,
Travis Kelce made
opposite of stylish.
Travis Kelce, one of the worst dressed people on planet Earth, made the list. Which is
no, really?
Yeah. Which is interesting. And he's also wearing Kid Super.
This is in the Times?
Yeah, this is in the New York Times. They call him a desirable billboard for labels like Kid Super. You can hold that. Doja Cat, Pharrell Williams, of course, Gwyneth Paltrow, our queen. But my favorite entry, Jason, is the Sphere made it. Because it's a visual spectacle, much like a good outfit. So the Sphere in Las Vegas did make the list, which is surprising.
What the fuck is the New York Times doing? This is some Us Weekly shit, bro. Come on.
I think it's supposed to be funny. That's the whole idea.
But is it?
It's like,
is it dystopian through the guise of LOL? It's funny.
No, I think it's like this list is supposed to be stupid. Like they mentioned the bag from Succession, like. All kinds of dumb stuff, but the people, the AI Pope made the list.
Okay, I'm calming down.
But then there's some other stuff like Law Roach, terrible. Troy made it, of course. Zuckerberg.
Forgot about Law Roach.
I mean, we all tried to. Pedro Pascal, our closeted king, is here. But yeah, it's just a funny little thing to look at because I thought it was going to be serious. And then I got into it, and I was like, "You're naming fictional characters, and the cockroach from the Met Gala. This is not.
Well,
you guys are not serious.
I guess I'm upset by the not seriousness because like you can't have both. They're going tweeners. Like if I'm Phoebe Philo, and I'm like, oh great, I made the list. Who else made it? And they're like, a piece of beef jerky that was on Twitter, and a building in Las Vegas, and this one F1 driver who was canceled, but he's back, and you're like, okay, this list is meaningless. Like,
Yes.
if you're gonna go full beep, then just do it.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
do
yeah.
a mix of both, because then nothing matters.
I would kind of
New
agree.
York Times, you fucked up again.
I would kind of agree with you, but I kind of thought it was funny, to be honest, because I was like,
That's because you have brain worms, Chris.
I hate the joke about the cockroach in the Met Gala was one of the least funny things of all time, so I'm upset that that's on here. But otherwise, I can side with most.
It's the chicken shopification of media. It continues to ravage us.
It never. But
But I will check out that list. I'll go by the newsstand. I need to get that one on the hard copy. Sorry, yeah, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, I know.
I'm actually feeling okay-ish.
So we haven't podcast. Okay, so I mean, we should just start at the beginning, Jason, on Thursday night, our dinner.
It's funny, we're like, man, we haven't podcasted since every day this week. I feel like we've podcasted, but that's kind of the beauty of it, right?
That's the whole point, and I hope the listeners feel like that too.
Yeah, I want us and the listeners to feel like, when they would have like a contest on the radio to like the last person to be touching a car wins it. It's kind of like that. Everyone,
yes.
Our listeners and us are both looking at each other like, I can do this all day, and you're like, you're gonna die, and you're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, and then what?
My organs stopped working because I didn't have enough fluid, so I could win a Kia from K-Rock.
Amputate it, bitch. Amputate the leg. I don't fucking care.
Those contests were so cool, and I think they also did some where you like had to be inside the car. Like I think there was one where you like would just sit there, but the one where you had to keep a body part on it that's the most legendary.
Yeah, I think there was a Saved by the Bell episode where everyone eventually started falling asleep. You could imagine what Dustin Diamond got up to. I think about him all the time during the holiday season.
Why?
But I remember he got in a fight with somebody at a bar and like died, and it was like legit on Christmas Day. Like, oh, Dustin.
Imagine dying on Christmas Day. R.I.P. Shane McGowan.
Well, when they see my holiday party look from last night, they're gonna fucking be dead on Christmas Day.
Oh, I'm sure it's crazy. You wore
time of death.
You wore a zany tie. Let me guess.
Zany tie? Come on, that's a bad word for it. It's a holiday Snoopy tie. It's not zany.
I would say wearing a cartoon tie feels a little zany.
It's not. It transcends cartoon, Chris. Come on. It's like a Beatles song. It's in public domain at this point.
I don't think that's true, but people like Snoopy.
There's a difference between wearing like a Calvin and Hobbes tie or like a Far Side tie. Bro, check that man's hard drive. He's got child pornography on it. He's got the Far Side tie, and he'd still be a substitute teacher.
No, that's true.
Lock him up.
Kids, it's okay if you're late.
But yeah, Snoopy tie. Oh man, Snoopy tie. Snoopy is carrying a small Christmas tree.
People like Snoopy too much. I don't really understand what the deal is.
Snoopy is burning too hot. He's riding too close to the sun. I think people are. This is like fourth wave Snoopy discovery. I'm here for it because I'm seeing a lot of Snoopy being unearthed. But at a certain time, much like our housing market, the bubble's going to crash.
The bubble's going to burst on Snoop. No, well, we started the weekend. Mm-hmm. On Thursday because it was your last night in New York after a full week, and you were fraying, to say the least, coming apart.
I was Fredbear.
And I like it because I know what it is with you, and it's because you just can't be cold, and I kind of respect that.
Damn, you do.
You just can't handle it.
All I'm hearing is Wiz Khalifa when you said, you know what it is. I got black and yellow stuck in my head.
You know what it is.
Yeah, so yeah, that is like the my slow death is like when I'm in a situation where I'm a little bit chillier than I was hoping I was going to be. But put a fork in me.
I just like it. I just like it because I see it. Like I see you through the week, and you're good, and then you're not as good, and then you're not good, and you're like, I have to get out of here, or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
There's like you break down slowly, but it only takes a week, which is good. So you know it's coming.
It's like when you're on a road trip and you're trying to decide if you should pull over for gas, and you're riding it on E, and you could just slowly like, damn, he's still. I will pull through to go to Le Bernardin.
Of course.
I'll pull it together. And also when you're in that situation where you're just like depleted, dead, deceased, period, all that shit. If you just put a suit on,
it does. It helps.
You're like,
up.
you know what? I feel good. It's like when if you're like a crackhead, like wearing no pants, and then you hit that pipe and you just feel like, oh damn. Yeah. So we went to Le Bernardin with friend of the show Andy Baraghani,
and I was dreading this because I was the fourth choice as the third mic.
We found out in the car on the way there that it is jacket required.
I had a jacket on and Jason did not, which is kind of funny, but I guess it was because you were so cold you had to wear like a big jacket and you couldn't have fit the blazer underneath, or it wouldn't have felt right, which I get.
All that is true, and plus I was dead. But then when I walked in, the coat check person was like, you know what? You look good. No jacket required, big fella.
That's actually not what happened. What happened was they said they changed the policy during COVID that a jacket is just suggested. But you did look good. There's no, I mean, I'm not gonna argue that. I just want to make sure we kind of. I wouldn't want to confuse
Chris,
people.
you keep me an honest man. You keep me an honest man.
If they were going to Le Bern,
awesome.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to. But yeah, Le Bern isn't. Le Bern is like a.
I've been going to Bern since like 97.
We were the youngest people in there by 15, 20, maybe 30 years. I like that. Obviously, the room looks untouched since the 1990s. I also like that.
Yeah, even the facade, the little the awning.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh man, that they don't make it like that no more.
The service is unbelievable, like unreal. And I just to give you an example, I did the vegetarian tasting, and I had a risotto course of some kind.
It was saffron.
I'm sorry, it was saffron. And I guess in my attempt to get it in my mouth, I did drop a little bit onto the tablecloth, and they came over and picked it up, but then got out a napkin and positioned it over the stain.
It's like when you have sex on the period and you got to lay a towel down. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
what
it was.
It was a saffron based menstrual fluid.
I thought they were gonna do it for everybody. I didn't understand what was going on, and then I asked, and they were and they were like, "No, you made a spill, so we had to correct it, big fella."
You've desecrated our tablecloth.
Yes.
So we have to shame you by putting this down. It really felt. I don't know. You didn't at first. I was like, oh, maybe this is like the jambalaya course or something. We gotta lay a tart down because it's gonna be messy.
Oh, we doing crawfish tonight, Eric? Hell yeah, bro.
Better put the gloves on, or else that crawfish gets under the nails. Try and wash it out. You can't.
This place is a lot different than I thought it was. I heard it was different. This is fun.
All right, who got the dinosaur ribs? So when that happened, I kind of felt. I mean, to my delight, because you made a mess and they covered it up. But I also felt kind of bad because like if that would have happened to me, I would have felt embarrassed, mostly because you guys would have made me embarrassed for doing that. Like I could picture everyone having a great laugh at me not being able to get all the food in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that I took it in stride.
Saffron notoriously stains.
I was.
Yeah, no, you handled it.
I was able to take the embarrassment. It's okay. I can live with it.
When when you go to a restaurant and you get the bread and the butter is never enough. It's merely a suggestion of the correct amount of butter.
Oh, yeah.
And then, maybe it's cold. You've got a big hunkin' loaf and you want to eat it, but you're going light on the butter to try to spread it out. And you got to flag your server down and you ask them for the butter. They forget. You got to ask them another time. They find it comes out 5 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
At Le Bern, literally the butter ramekin, it would, as soon as it hit 50%, they would a butter ninja would come.
It was like
pull it off the table and replace it with a fresh.
It was like an alcoholic bellied up at his favorite bar. That glass is never empty.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Leave the bottle.
It was beautiful, and
it's kind of like if you ever go hunting with the royal family, and you're like, all right, I shot all the bullets in the gun. It's time to open it up and knock the shells out and put new ammo in. As soon as you shoot that last bullet, a man hands you a new gun full of more bullets, and you never have to think about it. It felt like that.
Ready to rock. But the bread was special. It was a delicious mini baguette, as well as a brioche, as well as a focaccia was available as well. There was a handful of selections, but it was a never-ending bread basket. It was they came around whenever you wanted, which I was for some reason surprised me. I don't know why, but it felt cool.
Yeah,
that it was available at all times.
It was like if you're watching some old timey movie and you got the cigarette girl walking around.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, everything I ever need is all here. It felt like that. There was just one person carrying a big basket around, like a container of Sun Chips on a Delta flight or something like that. But I felt bad because I want to say, like, all these breads are great. All 6 of them look good. But I have to choose between 1 and 2 of them so I don't look like a big heifer, right?
I mean, an absolute heifer. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's hard to hef out on bread in that situation because the meal is so light. And everybody kind of knows that. Like we ate 8 courses and I felt satisfied, but definitely not full. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's actually this is the beauty of Le Bernardin and their true French colors are showing where they're like, we know this meal is going to be full of light seafood, broths and things like that.
Consommes.
Because we want to save room to celebrate bread and butter because they're able to admit that that is the greatest food item that you can sell at a restaurant. That's hard to make a lot of money selling bread and butter.
That's a good way to look at it. And that's very possible. And Eric Repair, I mean, he touched the table. We built with the god. He seems
Silver Fox
very happy to see us.
Clunge plunger.
He seems so happy to see us, and it was just great to catch up with him, you know.
Yeah, and we didn't have any girls at the table, and he still came over.
no girls at the table, and he was able to still stop and chat with us, which did feel good. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I was dreading it because I didn't want to be there for 4 hours, but it flew by. It was delicious.
You know, good company,
great company, A plus.
Because it was much like a Moshe Kasher medieval times. It was dinner and a show in terms of the kiki level that was happening, right?
The kiki level was high. That's true. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I like the food there is giving old, but in a refreshing way. It's kind of you imagine like this is what they would eat on the television show Frasier or something like that. Just peak French cuisine, everything. You know, green apple is still in play, things like that. But in a way where it's like, I'm glad that they're preserving this bygone style of cooking, and it's positively thriving because there's nothing else like that anymore, for better or for worse.
It feels like that's what they should be doing there.
Yeah.
You know, if they were doing some like funky stuff, I would be like, this ain't your bag. You're an excellent classic place. You don't ever need to change. And I'm sure you have no problem filling the tables every night.
Every single table was full. That place is pumping. They had multiple master sommeliers working the floor. And they probably had three master somms on the floor.
How was the wine? Because you guys seem to get a little bit adventurous, right?
That was probably my favorite part of the meal, was how wide open my somm got with me.
You mean he was busting it all the way open and giving you stuff that you wouldn't have expected?
Well, it was one of those things where, like, in that situation, I never am like, well, can I see this? And do you have this? Like, I don't know that. I want to be like, you're the master somm.
Yeah, bring the stuff, bro.
Somm me out. I'm going to refer to you. You're the fucking pro. And then when I do that, it's not unusual for them to let me down.
Sure.
So this was a situation where I was like, do you get as weird as you want? And there's no follow-up questions, which you're gonna get at a modern pussy-ass restaurant, you know? Like,
interesting.
So we're thinking like saline? Like, I was like, do you? And they're like, very good, sir. And they walk away, and you're like, okay, if that's confidence. And they're like,
for sure.
Here's a weird-ass fucking wine that pairs perfectly with the almond in this dish where there's 11 other ingredients.
I liked the guy. Those guys always talk too much for me. You know, and I just, it's one of those,
of course,
but it's one of those things where it just goes back to the classic thing. Like if wine is extremely boring to talk about unless it's someone else who loves it as much as you do, kind of vibe, you know?
Okay, sideways.
If you're a sommelier like that at that kind of restaurant, I guess you assume people are paying a certain price. They want all the information, but I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I think the 9/10 of the somm job is kind of gauging the personalities of other people and how much, how much they want to flirt, how much they want to dance.
True. It was perfect for you. It was perfect for you. He could tell that you were a freak. That's why he was able to give you the right selections, but he also knew how to tell you about it in a way that kept you interested, I think.
We learned about all types of kinks that we're not going to get into.
Yeah, not from the Somme. Just to be clear,
Somme.
not from the sommelier. Not from any employees at the beautiful Le Bernardin establishment.
And then
thank you, Andy, for setting that up. It was fun and delicious.
And yeah, thanks to the whole team at Le B. I stole a napkin. It's nice.
Does it say anything on it?
It says it has a Le Bernardin logo on it, but it's, to be fair, it's a paper napkin, so it's not.
Oh, that doesn't count. Okay, well,
grand larceny.
It
doesn't count. Yeah, they're complimentary.
You couldn't leave without something.
Just the logo of it, just in that room.
Logo's amazing.
That the typeface is just. Amazing. I mean, it looks like a Liz Claiborne perfume from 1989.
Yeah.
Like it's just so quintessential.
Wow, that's very accurate.
It's a basic typeface, but it conjures up so much. Conjures Georgia.
No,
let's pay some bills.
No, you're absolutely right though. It is really the design is exactly that. That's a very good.
It's giving Claiborne.
It's giving a free.
Yeah, I got one in me every once in a while.
Free with purchase Liz Claiborne items.
When I was a kid, I used to get horny for Liz Claiborne perfume. I don't know what it was.
I'm sorry, what? What do you mean? Like you sprayed it on yourself, or you liked the hot lady that sprayed it on you at like Macy's and OC?
No, I would
be careful here.
The scent of it was positively intoxicating to me. Like whenever I'd go to the mall or something with my mom. I mean, I was like 10 years old or something like that. I was not old enough to. I was prepubescent, but the smell of it was just like a beef bourguignon to Julia or something like that. It was, you can't explain what it does to your body.
Was it happy? Was it happy? Which scent was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I feel like it was just white label Liz Claiborne. It must have had a name though. I don't know what it was.
You know what we're gonna do? I'm sorry. Happy was Clinique. I apologize. I think what we can do is maybe we go. I'll buy all of the scents from your childhood era on eBay, and then we'll kind of do a sniffing, where you try them all and see what kind of memories
I'm gonna do a sniffing.
They conjure up. I think that could be a fun exercise for you to kind of get your because you're not a super sniffer, only a taster.
Oh,
so it could be nice to exercise that muscle.
No. I am also a super sniffer. I'm not good at identifying the scent with words as much as an internal feeling that I can't explain. It transcends language, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that means you're not good at it though, because being able to translate it is kind of the whole thing.
I'm like like when you go see like a psychic medium and they're like they know something. They're like, I'm seeing this crazy shit, and you're like, what is it? And you're like,
yes.
And they see a perfect vision of it better than everyone else, but you just can't translate it into any words whatsoever. That part of your brain has not developed.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at. Which it could also just be full delusion, narcissism in terms of.
Oh, that's definitely what it is. But I'm happy that you've gotten to that point without me.
Better help who?
I want to talk about a gift that I received in the mail.
Yeah, thanks to Gucci Osteria for sending me due panettone.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at mine right now, but I was talking about something else, something more sinister and twisted. The Kerwin Frost McDonald's Fry Guy clogs. Which
this guy clogs.
They kind of look like Cookie Monsters. You know what I mean? They kind of look like they're just like giant.
Not kind of. They are giving Cookie Monster.
They have googly eyes. We live in a post Jonathan Anderson frog slides world, and these are the turbo. It's like if Balenciaga made those because they're huge.
Do you think JW spit out his espresso when he's seen these on Grailed?
They're not on Grailed yet, because I checked.
Do you think he spit out his espresso when he's seen these on? When he saw them on Poo Crave?
Maybe when he saw them on Poo Crave. But I have 2 pairs in a size 12, so if anybody wears a 12. Let me know. I would be happy to gift you if you have $500. And the box is unbelievable. The heft of the box is because the
quality American-made box.
I can't explain to you how big these are, like how big the box is and how giant the shoe is. Like I can't put it into words. I'm like you with scent. I truly cannot put it into words. You have to get a visual on it.
And I trust that you know a lot about boxes and retail packaging. Yet, despite all of that, you're still left gagged. Are you gagged?
Once again, our homie Kerwin has left me gagged, and I bow down to him. He can do it like no one else. And they're really one of the most unbelievably weird things I've ever been given. and I want them out of my sight as soon as possible. But
be gone.
I'm kind of glad I tried them on. I tried them on and took a picture, and I was like, damn, this is actually insane what these look like.
I think this is
so
a healthy
lit.
exercise for you to,
Yeah,
you know, much like McDonald's popular jungle gym children's area, the play place. Sometimes, Chris, you need to remember to just play.
I know it did feel like that when I was trying them on. I was like, you know what? I needed this. But yeah, they're absolutely fucking twisted. After our big meal, we woke up at 5 a.m. to head over to Boston, and we've said a lot of things about Boston on this show, Jason. And I meant those things.
Some good, some great, some things even bad.
Some things bad. I don't regret any of them, but I have to say this 24 hours in Boston was fully enjoyable, and I had a great time, and it was the best time I've ever had there, probably.
Thank you. That's the TJ factor, it sounds like, right?
No, I think it's a Four Seasons
Mostly
Boston
me.
factor, but also a TJ factor. That helps. It doesn't hurt that you were there. It helps that you were there.
Yeah. No, good point. No, of the handful of times that I've visited Beantown, this too was probably my favorite situation. It was very similar to when we went to Chicago for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, all you need to do is just make these two adjustments.
Exactly. No, 100%.
And you're like, oh, I like this place now.
You stay at a high-end Republican hotel, and you go have good meals.
That's walking distance to a Whole. That's a thing that anchors my spirit.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, even having to search out a water or something, like I want to be able to get that across the street. I want to be able to see where I can buy a Fiji from.
To search out a water.
But the hotel, so we were staying at the Four Seasons. It was really nice. It was great. And we got there early, and then we went out to lunch, and then we came back, and it was feeling different in there. You know what I mean? I was like, why are all these people?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird crowd. And then I realized that the Army Navy football game was taking place in Boston, and all of the kind of retired Army Navy folks who have gone on to make money were staying at this hotel to celebrate to go to the football game, and it really it put me in a weird spot. I don't know why.
Because you were surrounded by a bunch of people who probably hate us.
Yeah, but I mean that's how I grew up. I should be used to that. You know what I mean? But it was just a very weird. I was like, I don't want to be around these like racist grandmas like having hot cocoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are just kind of like casually maybe like toothpicking themselves while they're wearing like a West Point
Oh yeah, for sure.
pullover.
Yeah. They had like a 100%. Yeah. A West Point like quarter zip.
Yeah.
With like a hat on and a Rolex, and then like a big American made SUV in the valet.
Yeah.
That was the vibe.
But I think the point that you were talking about, really, it was kind of puzzling because you're like, you think military people, not the poorest in the lot, but it's not necessarily a line of work that one gets into to become ultra wealthy. But I feel like this was the 0.001% of military elite where they're like, yeah, I have a helicopter. Like that kind of level,
because a lot of people
just by being in the military.
We only have to be in the military for a little while when you're like a kid, and then you can get out, and then you get to say that you were in the military for. It's like the way people obviously go to college, and if it's somewhere that they're proud of, they talk about it until they die, and that's an identifying factor of their life.
Sure.
Which always feels insane to me. Like, you went to Wake Forest, you're 65 years old. Why are you talking to me about where you went to college? Like, you're like, that was 50 years ago. Who cares? But people have a bumper sticker and a fucking t-shirt and magnets, and they talk about it. I just don't. I'll never understand that, obviously, for many reasons.
The only worst thing is when you do that, but you didn't even go there. Your kid goes there.
That's a classic. Yeah, that's a classic. And
or you're the only identity you have is my son fucked his life up so bad that he had to join the military.
That's the worst. My son is a Marine. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm real proud of him too. Yeah, it changed the hotel vibe, but the hotel was really nice. And weirdly, there was a couple of other. Brian Grazer was in the building, which I really want to know why Brian Grazer was in Boston. He must have a daughter at Emerson or something. He couldn't be there just to build.
Brian Grazer, Boston. Where does Brian Grazer live? He lives in Santa Monica.
LA.
Long way.
Yeah.
It was just so funny seeing how shitty he looks. You know what I mean? Because he's played himself in a couple. Like I feel like he played himself in Entourage or something.
Yeah. He was just on an episode of The Kardashians. Like in the last
Oh really?
2 weeks. He's doing a show about Chris's life.
Oh yeah, he was on an episode of Entourage.
Yeah, for sure. Legend. One of the greats. Spiky hair. I mean, he's old, obviously, but you know,
he kind of looks like Hunter Biden.
Speaking of, he's having a good week. Is there anything more aspirational than Hunter Biden's spending and consumption?
He's sort of like the opposite, or I guess he's like a nice accompaniment to George Santos, like a shitty Republican who both sides have grown to love for his unique talents. Hunter's kind of the same, where Republicans and Democrats are both like, you're a fucking legend, bro. Beast mode, king shit. You goated.
Yeah, if you're
this is how it's done, bro.
If you have any sense, you give it up to Hunter, and if you don't give it up to Hunter, you're probably lying to yourself or kind of on a soapbox for political gain, because that's just I don't know what else it could be if you don't give it up.
I guess to me, it's like the highest version of when somebody like goes streaking at the Super Bowl or something like that.
Yes.
To me, it's just that's all it is. Where it's just like, damn. I mean, it's a bummer that this person is gonna like spend the night in jail, but you got to give it up. That was so sick. I saw his dick flapping on the pitch.
The ATM withdrawals, the gun stuff. It's all good. It's all cool, and I can't believe.
Yeah, and I like that Twitter seems to be focusing mostly on the fact that he's paying sex workers a livable wage. Like everyone's like, damn, this is. Well, I wish his dad would do that. You know, that kind of stuff.
I saw Saturday Night Live. They were like, Hunter Biden's the only one that's ever going to complete a sentence.
Oh, that's
which was the only Biden that's ever going to complete a sentence. It's really funny.
That's good. Whoever wrote that one, well done.
I watched Olivia Rodrigo on SNL this morning.
Mm-hmm. Es bueno.
She was good, man. She was really good. She did Vampire, like the big single, like on the piano, just her and the piano. I didn't know she could tickle the keys like that.
Was it a difficult song to play on piano? I know you don't play yourself, but could you tell?
Oh, I don't think that. I don't think it's like that. I just think that like I didn't
any level of comprehension
competent.
Was you were impressed by?
Yeah, I just thought she kind of stood up there and rocked. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of the thing. Like, I'm hot, the songs are great, I can sing, but there was a little more to it. I was impressed.
I mean, I guess you kind of have to do that when you can do that. You have to prove the naysayers wrong if you have any opportunity to do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's very similar to like Chris Black performing live on stage. You're like, huh. Or Them Jeans with the tambourine. You're like, wow, he was hikey nice with it. Son of a gun.
Hold on. These motherfuckers can do this. No, yeah, we did. So in Boston, we had a show at the Wilbur Theater, which was beautiful. Like a really, really nice. Like that might be the nicest theater we've ever played in, right? Mm-hmm. More charm.
Yeah. It was giving more legendary.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. But it was in the theater district of Boston, which I've never been to before, which I guess is just a place for stand-up comedians and Penn and Teller to perform. Like I didn't see any, Phantom of the Opera. I just saw Anthony Jeselnik and Hassan Minaj and Penn and Teller, which felt like we were in the right place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we were talking to like the union guys working there, like asking them what stuff normally happens there, and they're like, stand-up comedy. It's like 90% stand-up comedy is all we do now. And is stand-up so popular for live shows now because it's over in an hour and the overhead is low and it's just easy for everyone to do that.
For sure. I mean, if like Anthony Jeselnik
is music being replaced by us?
I hope not. God. But Anthony Jeselnik was doing 4 days in a row at this theater. And I mean, you fly in once, you stay at a hotel, you show up every night at the same time, you do the same thing, you go home with, $100,000 or whatever, maybe a little less. I mean, it doesn't. Everybody
he was doing 2 shows a night as well. So that's
you're right. You're right.
So that's 8 shows in 4 days if he didn't catch the COVID.
He's definitely making bread. But is it? Do those guys, when you're buying a ticket to see something like that, do they really do an hour? Or do they do a little more, or does it just depend?
They'll usually do an hour, and they'll usually bring 1 to 2 openers. There's an opener and there's a middle, and then the headliner usually.
Okay, so it's a longer night, but they're only doing an hour.
Yeah, usually they'll travel with their middle, and then there'll be like a local opener. Is how it normally works.
The place was it was beautiful, and but yeah, we did the show. This was a new kind of concept for us, where we had musicians with us, but we came out, we did our thing, and then we brought Kevin Morby out to talk to us for a while, and then Kevin and his girlfriend Katie Waxahachie like played some songs at the end, and I thought it was fun because we also did some songs at the end, which it did feel kind of insane, but I had a good time. I think you did too. Like I had to sound check a song where I was singing off of singing with two people who I like respect as musicians. Like I know their music. You know what I mean? They're not just my friends. They're like they're like people I really like and respect, and they're so encouraging and like this is so sick. This is so
like
fun.
Me scratching in front of Burial.
Exactly. They were like, it's so sick. This is so fun. And I was just like, damn, are they gassing me up? But if so, it's working. So it gave me the confidence I needed to kind of get over the hump because I was nervous.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was much more nerve-wracking for you because you were singing. When I sang a Sublime song, you sang a Lemonhead song, and I was kind of doing more backups, and you were a little bit more upfront with it. I guess it's just so weird doing that in front of an audience of people that have paid money to be entertained, and you're just there singing.
Entertainment is entertainment. I mean, look, I don't think they would like that if it was just me doing it. When you're with two people that are really good, it doesn't really matter. I couldn't fuck up that bad. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's nothing I could do.
I was like the Keanu in Dog Star. I'm in the back. I'm playing bass. If I fuck up, it's still going to be okay. I'm not going to bring the ship down.
We're going to make it through. Yeah, but it was really fun, and it was very nice of them to kind of indulge me. I called it indie rock Make-A-Wish. Is kind of what it felt like, and that's fine with me. But they were great. It's very cool when you can get on a stage with just a guitar and just kind of captivate people. You know what I mean?
And be like, I got it.
Yeah, like I'll handle this. You guys have to make all these jokes and make fun of yourself. I can just get up here and play some beautiful songs, and people are looking at me with love in their eyes. Mm-hmm. And that is the power of music, I guess. Yeah.
Hanging out with them was very nice. They're two very lovely, sweet people, and we don't deserve them. But also, it's a good I don't know, like a self-love type of situation where, you know, these people that you look up to and admire for their talents are like, hey man, great job, you did an amazing job, so funny, so good, and you know that it's real. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and because Kevin and Katie listen to the show, like, you know, we're friends, but it's still the live thing is, even people like that who do it for a living, I don't think they totally know what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like what it's going to be, or what it's going to be like, or even in this case, like how the crowd would react to what we were doing. I do think there was somebody that misunderstood what was happening, and they brought their child because they thought it was just like a Kevin Morby solo show. And to those people, I do apologize for what they had to hear. But we also thank you for buying a ticket.
Yeah, it was weird. That was the first time, because I've seen like stand up before, or like a crowd work clip where someone's like, "Is that a baby?" And they work it in. Like, but I've never experienced doing this show where sometimes we say some not baby stuff on stage, and knowing that there is a child there, it does affect you, even if you're the baddest bunny in the world. You're like, damn, I feel weird. I have to like watch what I'm saying now because there's a 6-year-old here.
For sure. I
can't say F-U-C-K.
I don't care, but I could see why you would, and that's fine. I think that's totally cool. Yeah, it was a great time, and Boston treated us well. We'll be back. Boston was very good to us. And that was our
we will be back.
Final How Long Gone show of the year, Jason, and then we pick back up in January in San Francisco. But it feels good to have done the best stuff we've ever done, and 3 in a row, and now we get to I don't get to take a break from work, but we get to take a break from that.
Yeah, there's a mental break going on.
Yesterday was like, I told Alex, I was like, when you left to go to your flight and I had a few more minutes, I was like, I really felt like Clooney and Up in the Air. Like I'm like in the Boston airport on a Saturday afternoon alone, and like I'm just like, is this what it's all about? Is this what it's all about? and it is, it was fine, of course. But I just, it was a very funny, like sometimes that hits me, especially in like this time of year, because flying on a Saturday is the best, but it's a different kind of crowd.
Yeah, I guess I know what you mean. Because you're saying to yourself, is this my life, in a good way and a bad way? You know what I mean?
Yes. I mean,
like everyone else is at home, like watering their lawn and having a barbecue or whatever, doing nice stuff on the weekend. And you're like, I'm built differently. I'm at the Boston Logan Airport.
Hey, I'm built different. I'm at the airport.
Not a lot of people can do this.
I'm at the airport paying $6 for a bottle of water while you cut the grass and play with your kids. Who wins, bitch? Yeah, that's very true.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. But you got back and you had to go straight to a Christmas party.
Holiday party.
I'm sorry, holiday party. Did you drink at the party?
I did drink at the party. Yeah, I got home and then like 3 hours later went to a holiday party for friends of the show, Pia and Davide.
Who was this one? Who was it sponsored by? Because I saw the Baraghani olive oil tower, which did feel like I was in a high-end grocery store, which I like. Yeah. But did you see any, was there Grey Goose? Like, did you see any logos?
Gia was in the building.
Oh, okay. Well, for all, I mean, those parties, it's a lot of drinkers.
Our friends of the show.
But I guess they need to have Gia on deck just in case.
Yeah, there's a lot of sober kings in the building, you know what I mean? So
that's true.
Some people need the Gia.
That's true. No, you're right.
Need the Gia.
I need the Gia.
But food provided by the Funk Man, of course.
Oh, you know the Funk Man. Oh, baby, only the best
Focaccia
Italian.
pyramids had a lovely meat, kind of like a ragu lasagna. Really housed that one down.
Oh,
the burrata and persimmons were flowing.
No.
Perfectly mushy.
Hold
persimmons.
On. This motherfucker brought persimmons to Pasadena. That's nice. Pasta and pizza is one thing. Persimmons, that's a different level.
Yeah, I mean, it's. When tomatoes are out of season, it's the perfect holiday treat.
I see.
Yeah, it was great. Had some martinis, had a little red wine.
I got home and went outside to run some errands. Had to get some film. I'm going to Dallas tomorrow, and it was SantaCon yesterday in New York.
Oh no!
So it was a little. I was like, oh, it's because it was beautiful when I got back. Like the weather was really nice. It was warm, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go run some errands. I got all afternoon because I got home pretty early. And I was just, look, everywhere I turned, there was another fucking frat boy in a polyester Santa suit with his like drunk girlfriend dressed up like a slutty gingerbread cookie, stumbling down the street, And I forget, I know it happens every year. I've been here forever. But every time it's a surprise. Somehow, like every time I'm like, oh shit. And I thought maybe because I'm not in the heart of the East Village, it would be a little better. And I think it's even worse in like Midtown and shit. Like I think it feels like it's spread like the COVID virus.
I feel like there's more of those types a little bit more north. I feel like McSorley's is like the gateway to heading up there.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
I saw this sign. There's a restaurant over there called Yellow Rose. It's kind of like a Tex-Mex place, and they had a sign on the wall, like their entrance, saying like no Santas.
Yeah, you have to post that. You have to declare it.
But it feels so like bygone segregation or something like
crazy.
that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Like hippies use the back door.
But we went to like
kind of sign, or perhaps something.
We went to Lovely Day last night, and there was like a table of like drunk chicks dressed up like Santa at Lovely Day, and I'm like, this is like, we got to turn some people away. We refuse the right to serve anyone. You know what I mean? Type vibe.
See that we need some of that lovely gatekeeping where 3 to 7 of those Mrs. Clauses roll up. One of them smells like barf. You gotta be like, no, not tonight.
Excuse me, Mrs. Claus, but you threw up on yourself. We can't let you have pad thai tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad that I have never experienced the SantaCon. It's a nasty tradition.
It is nasty. I guess it started. I read yesterday that it started like as like a charity. It was like for good at some point.
Kind of like the Movember.
Yeah,
where like I know that this has virtuous.
Yeah. I know where this started, but it is not finishing
ramifications.
There. Yes.
But it's perhaps it's not worth it.
Perhaps
And we need our charities to stand up and say your money's no good here, Santa.
That's really funny.
But I think the reason why, because the type of person that's going to earnestly participate in SantaCon is probably the opposite of whoever we are, I guess.
It is.
There's been like 30 Rock episodes about it. Everyone loves to complain. It's like a Burning Man or something like that. Every time it happens, it's fuel for the fire. And I think if we just ignore these people who
you're right.
These 37-year-olds who wear backpacks, if we ignore these people and what they're doing and pretend that they're not even there, they'll go organically stop participating in the con.
The real problem I have with it is probably most of these people make more money than us.
Of course.
That's the real part that kind of hits me below the belt. It's like a 28-year-old analyst that is doing way better than he should be, and that's why he can get blackout drunk on a Saturday afternoon with no consequences.
With my Salesforce mafia, all the goats from the office are going to go. That's
literally what it's like. But yeah, I guess you're right. I think if we ignore it, it'll just go away, like most problems in life.
Or you get a lot of that for raising children and things like that. Small animals.
Yeah, that's true.
They piss on the couch. You don't give them attention.
Yeah, you just have to look the other way. Yeah, it's when I'm having a temper tantrum. That's what people in my life do too. They just kind of go to the other room.
You don't want to eat the breakfast? That's fine. Stuff like that.
You don't like the avocado toast I made? Okay, well, fine. You can fucking fend for yourself then.
Yeah, you could starve, you little bitch.
Well, we are back with some more podcasts next week. Some good ones. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we have a big fellow podcaster who has a Netflix comedy special out right now.
I watched it last night.
Oh, you did?
I will say this, that it is...
I know you don't like any stand-up, so...
No, the intro is very good, and there are some jokes that are good, for sure. I mean, he's funny. I read... The GQ story about him is really interesting, actually, because I didn't know a lot. Okay. I didn't know a lot, but yeah. So I'm happy I watched it. And I also found there's a new show on HBO called Bookies, and they gave that famous comedian a show finally. The guy that's like huge.
Yeah.
What's his name?
The Italian guy. Why can't I think of him?
Sebastian Maniscalco. It's honestly not a bad show, but Charlie Sheen's in it, and it's because it's produced by Chuck Lorre, the guy who did 2.5 Men. But Charlie Sheen plays a gambling guy with a Richard Mille watch, and he has to give it to them because he owes them so much money.
Yeah, it's like a show about like sports betting and gamblers and bookies and all that stuff. It's a good idea.
Yeah. It's basically a veteran bookie struggling to survive the impending legalization of sports gambling. And he's got like his like enforcer is a former NFL player who like blew all his money because he has so many kids.
Love an enforcer. Okay, well, I might check that out.
It's not great, but it's not bad. It's mindless for sure.
Yeah, the movie that he was in is basically like about his life, and I think De Niro plays his dad. It's an unwatchable film. I felt bad for him. I think it's on Delta. Check it out.
I love checking it out on Delta. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to How Long Gone. Thank you to everyone who came to our shows in Los Angeles, New York, and Boston. We really appreciate it. San Francisco, we'll see you in January. More on that soon. We'll be putting some stuff up in the merch store. Some of the stuff we took on tour as soon as we can, and some new stuff as well.
And we're gonna have Nalgene's soon too.
We have a new gene. New jeans. Yeah, that's no problem. That was for David Cho.
Now I know what to play for my outro.
Thank you again for listening, Jason. Thank you for your service as always, as a consummate co-host, dining companion, travel companion, and yeah, exactly. We appreciate all. Thank you again to Kevin Morby and Katie Crutchfield for joining us in Boston. It was something special. And thank you to McDonald's.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, Kerwin Frost, and your crazy attitude.
Shout out to Kerwin. I know you're listening. I know you're getting your nails done at Art Basel right now, but put your headphones in.
Bye.
I'm super shy.